In today's fast-paced world, life's struggles often feel relentless, leaving many of us searching for deeper meaning amid the chaos. To truly unlock the wisdom within these challenges, let's turn to the timeless words of Marcus Aurelius, who once said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. This profound insight paves the way for our exploration into how Stoic principles can transform obstacles into opportunities for growth. Together, we'll dive into the core tenets of Stoicism: resilience, acceptance, and virtue, and consider how these ancient teachings hold the key to navigating modern life's complexities. But the question remains, in a world so different from the one where these ideas were born, can these enduring philosophies still illuminate the path to a more meaningful existence? How often do you find yourself reacting impulsively to the challenges life throws your way? In moments of unexpected stress or frustration, it's all too easy to let our immediate emotions take the driver's seat. Yet, what if there was a way to transcend these knee-jerk reactions, finding peace even amid life's turmoil? This is where the Stoic concept of cognitive detachment comes into play. Cognitive detachment invites us to step back and observe our thoughts and feelings without being swept away by them. It's about creating a mental space where we can analyze situations objectively rather than reacting purely on impulse. This practice can be transformative, providing clarity and calm in moments that would otherwise be overwhelming. Epictetus, another beacon of Stoic thought, famously taught that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our responses. This understanding shifts the focus from what happens to us to how we choose to handle it. To illustrate, consider the modern scenario of stress management. Imagine you're navigating a hectic day at work. Deadlines are looming, emails are piling up, and tensions are rising. It's natural to feel your stress levels escalating, but what happens if, instead of reacting with panic or frustration, you take a moment to pause? By practicing cognitive detachment, you acknowledge your stress without letting it dictate your actions. You might decide to step away from your desk for a brief walk or take a few deep breaths to reset your mind. It's a conscious decision to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. This approach not only reduces immediate stress but also empowers you to tackle challenges more effectively. So, how might you incorporate this practice into your daily routine? Consider starting with simple pauses. The next time you feel an impulse to react, take a moment to breathe and observe your thoughts. Ask yourself if your initial response is truly the most constructive. Reflect on whether your reaction aligns with the person you want to be and the outcomes you wish to achieve. By introducing these mindful pauses, you begin to transform your approach to life's challenges, embracing a path of intentionality rather than reactivity. This shift requires patience and practice, but with time, cognitive detachment can become a powerful tool in your arsenal, enabling you to navigate life's storms with greater resilience and peace. So, what's stopping you from giving it a try? What might change in your life if you paused more often before reacting? As we delve deeper into these Stoic strategies, consider how this practice might shape your personal journey, guiding you toward a more centered and meaningful existence. When was the last time you wished for things to stay just as they are? Whether it's a moment of happiness, success, or even a period of calm, it's human nature to cling to the familiar and resist the inevitability of change. Yet life is anything but static. Change is the only constant, a relentless force shaping our experiences. This inevitability is beautifully captured in the wisdom of the Stoics, who teach us about the power of embracing impermanence. The Stoic philosophy views impermanence not as a source of fear but as an opportunity for growth and resilience. At the heart of this teaching is the understanding that everything in life is transient. By recognizing and accepting this, we can learn to adapt more fluidly to life's struggles, finding peace amidst the flux. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, eloquently captured this sentiment. He stated, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This insight highlights how our attachment to the permanence of things can often be the root of our dissatisfaction. When we cling too tightly to what we have, fearing its loss, we increase our suffering. To illustrate, let's consider the common experience of career upheaval. Imagine losing a job unexpectedly. The immediate reaction might be panic, anxiety, and a desperate clinging to what was lost. Yet, through a Stoic lens, there's an opportunity here to accept the change as it comes and look for the new paths it may open. By embracing impermanence, you might find that this change paves the way for new opportunities, perhaps a chance to pursue a passion, learn new skills, or even alter your career path in a more fulfilling direction. This acceptance of change directly reduces anxiety. The fear of loss and the unknown often stems from our resistance to change. By shifting our perspective to see change as a natural and even beneficial part of life, we lessen its power to control our emotions. Accepting impermanence allows us to live more fully in the present, appreciating what we have while it lasts without the gnawing worry of its end. Now reflect on your own life. Are there areas where you're holding onto the familiar, resisting the tides of change? Perhaps it's in a relationship, a job, or even a routine that feels comforting but is no longer serving your growth. What might shift if you allowed yourself to welcome change rather than fear it? In embracing impermanence, you open a gateway to greater resilience and adaptability. It empowers you to face life's struggles with a mindset that finds value in transformation rather than loss. This doesn't mean that challenges will cease to exist, but rather that you'll strengthen your ability to navigate them with grace and clarity. So, why not take a moment to consider how the concept of impermanence plays out in your daily life? By doing so, you might find new ways to reduce anxiety and invite a deeper sense of peace and acceptance. As we continue exploring Stoic principles, remember that life is a constant dance of change. By embracing it, we align ourselves with the true nature of existence, finding meaning and growth in every turn of life's journey. Imagine walking through the bustling streets of ancient Rome, a city teeming with opulence and grandeur. In this society, wealth was a symbol of power and success, with grand villas and luxurious feasts representing the pinnacle of achievement. Yet, amid this pursuit of material riches, the Stoics offered a counter-narrative that resonated through the ages: the enduring value of inner virtue over external goods. Stoicism teaches us that true meaning and fulfillment are not found in wealth or status, but in cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This philosophy, championed by figures like Marcus Aurelius, shifts the focus from the external to the internal, urging us to prioritize the kind of person we are over what we possess. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius, who was both a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, reminds us of the fleeting nature of material possessions. He observes that all external goods can be taken away or lost, but our inner virtues remain intact, fundamentally shaping who we are. Marcus writes about the importance of aligning our actions with our values, a principle that stands in stark contrast to the materialistic culture that surrounded him. To bring this teaching into a modern context, let's consider the common pursuit of happiness through material means. Imagine a scenario where someone spends years climbing the corporate ladder, amassing wealth and possessions, only to find themselves feeling unfulfilled. Despite having all the outward signs of success, there's an inner void that material goods can't fill. It's the realization that happiness derived from external sources is often temporary and fragile. Instead, Stoicism guides us to seek lasting contentment by nurturing our inner lives. By focusing on developing virtues such as wisdom and integrity, we cultivate a sense of worthiness and peace that external circumstances cannot shake. These virtues not only enrich our personal lives but also enhance our interactions with others, promoting a more harmonious existence. Let's take a moment to reflect on our own lives. What do we truly prioritize? Is it the accumulation of wealth, status, and possessions? Or is it the development of our character and the pursuit of wisdom and justice? In a world that often equates success with material wealth, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective that emphasizes inner fulfillment over external validation. By embracing the Stoic teaching of valuing virtue over material gain, we challenge ourselves to redefine what success means. This doesn't mean completely eschewing possessions or ambition, but rather understanding their place and ensuring they serve our inner growth rather than overshadow it. As you reflect on these ideas, consider how you can integrate them into your daily life. Perhaps it's through small acts of kindness, standing firm in your principles, or taking time for introspection. By prioritizing these inner virtues, you not only enrich your own life but also contribute positively to the world around you. In weaving these lessons into the fabric of our lives, we find a deeper sense of meaning and resilience. And as we navigate our own paths, guided by these ancient yet timeless principles, we create a legacy that endures far beyond any material possession. So ask yourself, what virtues will you cultivate? What inner wealth will you prioritize over the fleeting allure of external goods? In a world swirling with chaos and complexity, the ability to maintain clarity of thought emerges as a beacon of sanity and purpose. Mindfulness in our thinking is not just a tranquil practice, it's a powerful tool for navigating the stormy seas of life. This is where the Stoic emphasis on rational thought shines through, offering us a framework to find meaning even when the world around us seems overwhelming. Rational thinking is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, allowing us to discern what is within our control and what is not. By focusing our energies on the former, we cultivate a life of purpose and tranquility. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This quote underscores the importance of thoughtful reflection before action, a reminder that reason must guide us before emotions overtake us. To understand how rational thought aids in making sense of chaos, consider a modern-day problem-solving scenario: managing work-life balance. In today's fast-paced digital age, the lines between personal time and professional obligations are often blurred. The constant barrage of emails, notifications, and demands can create a sense of being perpetually overwhelmed, making it difficult to find peace and purpose. Approaching this scenario with Stoic rationality begins by mindfully assessing the situation. Rather than succumbing to stress, we pause to observe our circumstances objectively, much like how a Stoic would. What in this situation is within our control? Perhaps it's how we organize our priorities or how we choose to respond to each demand. What lies beyond our control might include our boss's expectations or the timing of an important project. By clearly differentiating between these elements, we empower ourselves to focus on actionable steps that align with our core values, while letting go of unnecessary stressors that we cannot change. Rational thinking guides us to create boundaries, perhaps by setting specific work hours and sticking to them, or by prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance. It encourages us to communicate thoughtfully, ensuring that our needs and limitations are clearly expressed to colleagues and family members alike. Through this rational approach, not only do we find a more balanced and fulfilling daily life, but we also cultivate a sense of inner peace that withstands external chaos. Rational thought acts as our compass, guiding us through each decision with clarity and confidence. Moreover, this practice of reason doesn't just solve immediate problems, it builds the foundation for long-term resilience. The more we engage in rational thinking, the more adept we become at managing life's challenges without being overwhelmed by them. We learn to trust our ability to navigate uncertainty, finding meaning in the process of problem solving itself. Let's ponder for a moment, how often do we allow emotions to cloud our judgment? What could change in our lives if we embraced rational thinking as a daily practice? By reflecting on these questions, we start to appreciate the Stoic virtue of reason, not just as an abstract concept, but as a practical tool for enriching our lives. As we explore further into the Stoic principles, remember that rational thought is more than an intellectual exercise. It's a way of living that anchors us in purpose, helping us chart a meaningful path through the ever-changing tides of life. So, how will you incorporate rational thinking into your day-to-day life? Consider starting with small, intentional steps, allowing the power of mindful reasoning to transform the way you interact with the world. Have you ever found yourself caught in a mental tug-of-war, resisting the inevitable twists and turns that life throws your way? It's a common experience to wish things were different, but what if there was a way to not just accept, but actually embrace these uncontrollable events? This mindset is beautifully captured in the Stoic concept of Ammaphati, or the love of one's fate. Ammaphati invites us to do more than just resign ourselves to life's challenges. It calls us to embrace our fate with open arms, transforming what could be sources of resentment into opportunities for growth and understanding. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic thinker, encapsulated this idea when he wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny for what could more aptly fit your needs." This idea is not about passively surrendering to fortune or misfortune, but about recognizing that every experience, pleasant or painful, contributes to our personal growth. It's about finding meaning and intention within the fabric of our lives, however challenging or unpredictable that may be. To illustrate, let's delve into a real-life story of overcoming a setback. Consider the inspiring tale of a young athlete who, after years of dedication, finally qualifies for a major sporting event, only to suffer a devastating injury just days before the competition. At first, there's the expected spiral into frustration and despair. After all, years of hard work seem to be undone by a single moment of misfortune. But instead of dwelling on what could have been, this athlete chooses to embrace Ammaphati. They decide to use this setback as a catalyst for growth, reflecting on what the experience can teach them. Perhaps it's an opportunity to develop mental resilience, to focus on recovery and future goals, or even to explore new passions that had been overshadowed by sports. By accepting this twist in their journey without bitterness, the athlete transforms a potentially negative experience into a springboard for positive change and discovery. So, how can we apply this principle to our own lives? We can start by asking ourselves, how often do we resist the circumstances that life hands us? What might change if we chose to embrace them instead? Consider a personal situation where the outcome wasn't what you hoped for. It might have been a job loss, a relationship ending, or a dream deferred. Rather than clinging to what might have been, we can challenge ourselves to find the silver linings, however small they may seem. By accepting life's outcomes without bitterness, we shift our perspective to one that recognizes the inherent value in every experience. This doesn't mean that we won't feel disappointment or sadness. Those emotions are perfectly natural. However, through Ammaphati, we learn to balance these emotions with an understanding that each moment contributes to our unique narrative, shaping who we are becoming. In embracing this Stoic principle, we foster a mindset that is open to life's unpredictability, seeing it not as something to be resisted, but as a vital part of our journey. As you reflect on these ideas, consider how you might fully embrace your circumstances, finding lessons and growth in places you least expect. What would it look like to meet each twist of fate with genuine love and acceptance? By asking ourselves these questions, we begin to cultivate a deeper resilience and joy, living fully in harmony with the life that unfolds before us. Resilience stands tall as a defining trait for navigating life's inevitable adversities. It's the strength that allows us to endure challenges and emerge stronger on the other side. In the philosophy of Stoicism, resilience is more than just a desirable trait. It's a fundamental component of the Stoic approach to life. Stoicism teaches us that resilience is built through the practice of endurance and perseverance, guiding us to face hardships with courage and unwavering determination. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, captured the essence of resilience in his teachings. He once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." This profound statement highlights the Stoic belief that enduring hardship is not merely a burden but an opportunity for growth. Each challenge is a stepping stone that fortifies our inner strength and broadens our capacity to handle future obstacles with greater ease and composure. To bring this idea to life, let's look at the inspiring story of a notable figure who embodied resilience, Nelson Mandela. Mandela's life was marked by extraordinary challenges, from his early struggles against apartheid to spending 27 years in prison. Despite these immense hardships, Mandela emerged with a spirit untouched by bitterness. His resilience wasn't just about enduring the years of confinement. It was about maintaining his vision of a united, democratic South Africa and his willingness to persevere in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Mandela's resilience shows us that true strength lies in steadfastly holding onto one's principles and goals, even when circumstances are dire. His ability to transform personal suffering into a powerful force for social change exemplifies the Stoic ideal of using adversity as a catalyst for growth and positive action. Now let's turn the lens inward. Reflect on your own life experiences. How have you demonstrated resilience? Think about the times when you faced adversity. Perhaps it was a personal loss, a career setback, or a health challenge. What was your mindset during those moments? Did you see yourself as a victim of circumstance, or did you use the hardship to fuel a journey of self-improvement and strength? Cultivating resilience doesn't mean that setbacks and challenges won't affect us. They're a natural part of life. Instead, it means learning to view these struggles as opportunities to strengthen our character and resolve. By embracing the Stoic practice of endurance, we can transform our approach to life's hurdles, seeing them not as obstacles, but as essential elements of our personal growth narrative. To hone this resilience, consider practicing daily reflection, a Stoic exercise that involves reviewing the day's events with a focus on learning and growth. Reflect on what challenges arose and how you handled them. What could you have done differently? What strengths did you discover within yourself? This practice not only builds resilience but also nurtures self-awareness and continuous improvement. In conclusion, resilience is not simply enduring life's trials. It's about finding meaning and strength within them. By channeling the Stoic principles of endurance and perseverance, we become architects of our own resilience, shaping a life of purpose and strength. So, the next time you encounter a challenge, remember the words of Seneca and the example of Nelson Mandela. Ask yourself, how will you use this moment to build your resilience? By understanding and embracing this mindset, you empower yourself to turn adversity into an opportunity for profound personal growth. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions constantly vie for our attention, finding tranquility seems like a distant dream. Our minds are often pulled in countless directions by the constant ping of notifications, the demands of work, and the never-ending stream of news and social media. Amidst this chaos, how do we find peace? This is where the Stoic practice of presence and mindfulness becomes invaluable, offering us a refuge from the noise and a pathway to clarity and calm. Stoicism teaches us that true peace lies in the present moment. By cultivating mindfulness, we can anchor ourselves in the here and now, appreciating life as it unfolds rather than being consumed by worries of the past or future. One of the most powerful teachings on this comes from Epictetus, who wisely advised that there is only one path to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. These words remind us that our focus should be on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes in the present moment. By honing our awareness and attention, we can find tranquility regardless of external circumstances. The hustle and bustle may remain, but by being mindful, we learn to navigate it with grace and composure. To embrace this Stoic wisdom, consider incorporating a simple yet effective mindfulness exercise into your daily routine. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day for mindful awareness. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take a deep breath, inhaling slowly through your nose and then exhale gently through your mouth. As you do this, focus solely on your breath, noticing its rhythm without trying to change it. As thoughts inevitably arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently return your focus to your breathing. This exercise might seem simple, but it holds immense power. By regularly practicing this mindful presence, you train your mind to stay in the moment, reducing anxiety and enhancing your overall well-being. To deepen this practice, you might also carry mindfulness into everyday activities. Whether you're having a meal, taking a walk, or simply sitting quietly, engage fully with the present. Notice the flavors, the sensations, the sounds around you, and how your body feels. This can transform ordinary moments into opportunities for connection and peace. Imagine if, instead of reacting impulsively to a stressful work email, you took a moment to ground yourself in the present, responding with clarity instead of frustration. Or when spending time with loved ones, you focused entirely on the interaction, rather than being distracted by your smartphone. These small but significant shifts in attention can profoundly impact your daily experience, leading to a more centered and fulfilling life. As you reflect on these teachings, consider how you might bring greater mindfulness into your own life. What distractions could you minimize to cultivate more presence? What would change if you dedicated just a few minutes each day to practice mindful awareness? The Stoics knew that mindfulness is more than a practice, it's a way of life. By embracing this approach, you empower yourself to find tranquility amid the chaos of modern living. You learn to savor each moment, appreciating its unique beauty and opportunity for growth. So take a breath, be present, and discover the tranquility that lies at the heart of every moment, waiting for you to uncover it. Pain is a universal experience, an unavoidable aspect of being human. Whether physical, emotional, or psychological, pain touches everyone at some point in their lives. Instead of avoiding or fearing it, the Stoic philosophy encourages us to confront pain head-on, offering an alternative perspective that transforms how we perceive and experience it. The Stoics teach us to view pain objectively, stripping away the layers of fear and personal attachment that often amplify our suffering. By observing pain with a clear, rational eye, we can begin to understand its nature, its lessons, and its place in our lives. This approach doesn't minimize the reality of pain, but rather offers a way to engage with it productively, turning it into a source of strength and insight. Epictetus, an influential voice in Stoicism, provides guidance on this topic. He once said, "What disturbs men's minds is not events but their judgments on events." This profound quote underscores the Stoic belief that pain itself is not what causes distress. Rather, it's our interpretation of pain that dictates our emotional response. By changing our perception, we can alter how pain affects us. To illustrate this point, consider the story of a young woman who faces a significant personal setback, a failed business venture. Initially, the pain of disappointment and perceived failure overwhelms her, but instead of succumbing to despair, she decides to approach her situation through the lens of Stoicism, viewing her challenges not as insurmountable but as valuable learning experiences. By examining her pain objectively, she gains clarity about the factors that led to her business's downfall. She identifies areas for improvement and takes these lessons to heart, using them as a foundation for future endeavors. This shift in perception transforms her pain into a powerful motivator, fueling her determination to succeed next time. Her resilience grows and she emerges stronger and more equipped to handle adversity. This example highlights the transformative potential of the Stoic approach to pain. By reframing our understanding of pain, we open ourselves to the growth and wisdom that often lie hidden within it. It's about acknowledging the presence of pain, gleaning its insights, and allowing it to inform rather than dominate our actions. Reflecting on your own life, how do you respond to pain? Are there instances where changing your perception might mitigate the suffering you experience? Perhaps you can think of a situation where pain led to personal growth or a newfound strength you didn't know you possessed. In practicing the Stoic approach to pain, we cultivate a mindset that sees beyond the immediate discomfort, recognizing the broader narrative that each painful experience contributes to. This doesn't mean that we do not feel pain or that we should ignore it. Rather, it's about embracing it as an integral part of our journey, one that can ultimately enrich our lives. As you consider these insights, think about how you might apply the Stoic perspective of viewing pain objectively in your own life. What lessons can your pain teach you? How can it guide you toward becoming a more resilient and courageous person? In the words of Epictetus, let us remind ourselves that pain is not the enemy. It is our judgment of pain that turns it into suffering. By altering that judgment, we can transform our relationship with pain, finding meaning and strength in places we once feared to tread. Have you ever paused to consider the role you play within the larger tapestry of society? In a world where individualism often reigns supreme, it's easy to overlook how deeply interconnected we are with those around us. The Stoics offer profound insights into this interconnectedness, suggesting that our individual well-being is inextricably linked to the welfare of the community as a whole. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wrote extensively about the notion of social duty in his Meditations. He believed that each person is part of a larger community and that our actions should reflect this understanding. Marcus Aurelius observed, "What benefits the hive benefits the bee." To him, our shared humanity means that our actions impact the collective, and thus we have a responsibility to contribute positively to the greater good. This concept of interconnectedness invites us to reflect on how our decisions and actions influence the lives of others. Consider a modern-day scenario, a community faced with a natural disaster such as a flood. In the aftermath, individuals come together to support one another, neighbors opening their homes to those displaced, volunteers organizing relief efforts, and local businesses donating supplies. This collective action highlights how each person's contribution, no matter how small, plays a vital role in the recovery and healing of the entire community. Such scenarios underscore the Stoic belief in the importance of collaboration and community support. By recognizing our role within the larger fabric of society, we cultivate a sense of shared responsibility, prompting us to take actions that benefit not just ourselves but everyone around us. In doing so, we foster resilience, solidarity, and a deeper sense of purpose. So, how can you apply these Stoic principles in your daily life? Start by reflecting on your current contributions to your community. Are there ways you could engage more meaningfully with those around you? It might be through volunteering, supporting a local cause, or simply extending a helping hand to a neighbor in need. Even small, everyday actions like showing kindness and empathy can have a ripple effect, strengthening the bonds that hold society together. Stoicism encourages us to think beyond ourselves and consider the broader impact of our actions. By understanding our interconnectedness, we become more mindful of our social duties, recognizing that our well-being is tied to the well-being of those around us. This perspective not only enriches our personal lives, but also contributes to a more harmonious and supportive community. Let us remember that living a life guided by Stoic principles means embracing our role as part of the larger whole. As you navigate your own path, consider the ways you can contribute to the collective good. How can you make a positive difference in your community, supporting and uplifting those around you? In reflecting on our interconnectedness, we find a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. By prioritizing the welfare of others, we help create a world that thrives on the values of compassion, cooperation, and mutual support. So, why not take a moment to consider, what role will you play in the ongoing story of your community? How will you use your unique talents and strengths to benefit the whole? By pondering these questions, you begin a journey of deeper connection and purposeful living, aligned with the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. In a world where unpredictability is often the rule rather than the exception, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the multitude of events that seem to fall out of our grasp. From the sudden changes in weather to unexpected developments at work, the barrage of uncontrollable events can leave us feeling frustrated and powerless. However, Stoic philosophy offers a beacon of guidance through these turbulent waters, teaching us to focus on what we can control: our own actions and thoughts. The Stoics understood that while we cannot dictate external events, we hold complete sovereignty over our responses to them. This principle is beautifully encapsulated in the teachings of Seneca, who stated, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This profound insight highlights the importance of shifting our focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable aspects of our lives, thereby diminishing unnecessary suffering and fostering a sense of inner peace. Consider a relatable situation. You've just received critical feedback on a project at work that you poured countless hours into. The initial sting of criticism might lead to feelings of anger, frustration, or self-doubt. It's natural to focus on how unfair the situation seems or how you wish the circumstances were different. However, by practicing the Stoic art of focusing on what we can control, we can redirect our energy towards a more productive path. Instead of ruminating over what you can't change, the feedback itself, or the client's expectations, you have the power to control your response. You might choose to view the feedback as an opportunity for growth, analyzing the critiques objectively to better understand areas for improvement. This shift in perspective not only enhances your skills but also strengthens your resilience, transforming a potentially negative experience into a stepping stone for personal and professional development. The practice of self-control is at the heart of this transformation. By consciously deciding how to respond, you exercise control over your thoughts and emotions, aligning your actions with your values and goals. This mindful approach not only leads to better outcomes but also cultivates a sense of autonomy and empowerment. As you reflect on this teaching, ask yourself, how often do I focus on what I can't control rather than what I can? What might change if I redirected my energy towards my actions and thoughts? Applying this Stoic principle doesn't mean ignoring external challenges, but rather choosing not to let them dominate our emotional landscape. It's a call to action, encouraging us to take ownership of our mental and emotional states and to navigate life's challenges with grace and intention. Think of a personal scenario where controlling your response could make a difference. Perhaps it's in managing stress during a hectic day or maintaining composure in a difficult conversation. By honing your focus on what you can control, you empower yourself to act purposefully, reducing stress and enhancing your overall well-being. In conclusion, the Stoic teaching of prioritizing control over one's actions and thoughts is a powerful tool in navigating life's uncertainties. By embracing this principle, we learn to channel our energy more effectively, fostering resilience and peace in the face of uncontrollable events. As Seneca wisely reminds us, mastering self-control isn't about changing the world around us, but transforming our inner world to better handle whatever life throws our way. So, how will you practice this Stoic wisdom in your daily life? How can you wield the power of self-control to turn challenges into opportunities for growth and fulfillment? As we come to the close of our exploration into the Stoic approach to finding meaning in life's struggles, let's reflect on the timeless wisdom these ancient philosophers have shared with us. The journey through Stoicism introduces us to a set of principles that offer not just theoretical guidance, but practical tools for transforming our lives. We began by exploring the concept of cognitive detachment, which empowers us to observe our thoughts and emotions objectively. This detachment is not about emotional suppression. Rather, it's about creating a mental space where we can engage with challenges without being overwhelmed by them. By stepping back and examining our reactions, we cultivate clarity and calm even in the face of life's turmoil. Resilience, another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, teaches us that our strength is forged through adversity. Stoics like Seneca remind us that difficulties are not just obstacles but opportunities to strengthen our character. By embracing this mindset, we learn to view setbacks as stepping stones to personal growth, transforming them into powerful motivators for positive change. The practice of presence further grounds us in the Stoic way of life. In a world filled with distractions, mindfulness becomes a refuge. By focusing our attention on the present moment, we learn to savor life's experiences, reducing anxiety about the future and regret about the past. This mindfulness allows us to fully engage with the world around us, fostering a deeper connection to both ourselves and our community. We also examine the importance of focusing on what we can control our actions and thoughts while letting go of what lies beyond our grasp. This principle is vital in navigating life's unpredictability, providing a framework for calm and deliberate action amidst chaos. As we integrate these Stoic teachings into our lives, they guide us towards a path of resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. They remind us that meaning is not found in the absence of struggle, but in how we choose to respond to it. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to practice virtue and strength, leading us toward a more fulfilling existence. Let us conclude with a reflective quote from Marcus Aurelius: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This encapsulates the essence of Stoic philosophy, urging us to view obstacles not as hindrances but as integral parts of our journey to wisdom and growth. As you reflect on these teachings, consider how you might apply them to your own life. What steps can you take to nurture detachment, resilience, and presence in your daily routine? How can you focus on what you can control to transform challenges into opportunities? By sharing your thoughts and experiences in the comments, we can foster a supportive community that grows and learns together. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoicism. We hope you find inspiration in these timeless teachings and invite you to share this video with those who might benefit from its message. By doing so, you help build a community rooted in wisdom, compassion, and resilience. Remember, the true power lies not in avoiding life's struggles, but in engaging with them to find deeper meaning and purpose.